Hey everybody, welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and we are running for Dirt Perfect today. Cat 304 is sitting right here and we are getting into a pretty decent sized drainage issue. Let me show you what we're working with. For starters, that's a hill, kind of like a cliff stair step. Goes up, gains probably 150 feet in elevation and 150 feet that way. It's pretty steep. Water all comes down there and there's this big ditch on the backside. The water originally would run down here, find a pipe right here. There's an old four-wheeler path that just kind of launches up the hillside there. The pipe would come on out this side, keep working its way down this ditch. There's the little four-wheeler trail. It'd keep on coming right on down. Sneak back around in this hole, and there's a big old galvanized steel culvert that's still in really good shape that runs from there down to there. Now that's the way it originally worked, or was supposed to work when it was all put into place, but you can see over the years, as ditches do, it's been filled in by debris and rocks and stuff breaking off and coming down the hill. So now the water comes down, jumps this, bypasses that situation altogether, and on both sides of this driveway the water comes shooting down this way and runs their driveway out. You can see how bad and rutted up both sides of it are. And then that pipe that was on the backside of that sheet piling we saw up there runs underground and comes out. There's a big grate here. There's a pipe that goes under this, under the driveway. That pipe ends. This is all supposed to be cleaned out. And then there's another pipe that starts here and runs under the highway. You can see it right there. And finds its way to the end point. The whole point of that ditch on the backside, the bottom of that cliff, is to prevent water from coming down the driveway, to prevent this exact scenario right here. We've got this bad washout. So the plan, well, it's pretty simple in theory. Bigger ditches and more pipe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 20-footers to be exact. It is double wall pipe, which is definitely the way to go. If you ever put in single wall pipe, you're going to end up with triple wall because you're going to rip your single wall out and put double wall in later. There's some rental cabins right next to us, like vacation rentals. And I guarantee you this is going to be very confusing next few days for them. They're going to try to figure out why operators in Indiana get in and out of their machines so often. YouTube. It's YouTube is the reason. Step number one, looks like this is an old dock. I don't know if it's his dock or dock he bought. I don't know. But either way, it's in the way and we got to do something with it here. It's not in the kind of shape where you can just flop her around. She looks to be in a very fragile condition. We'll just tie a little loop in her here, and we'll just lay that up there, and hopefully we can pick it okay. I don't know what their overall goal with this rig is, but they'll be able to figure something out. I mean, there's some timber here. You could do something with her for sure. It is hard telling what we're going to find. There's all kinds of stuff buried in here. We've also got this pole here. Looks like it used to have a light, but it does still have power attached. Right in there. I don't know if you can see the line or not. if we get any big monsters like this, well, I'll not call it a monster, but if we get any decent sized rocks, I'll put them in a nice neat pile for him. He might want to use for something. The tight quarters sometimes. There we go. So I think I'm in a good enough spot. We can now come in from this side and just move right on along. I want to pop this little stump right here, so I'm not throwing a track on that little feller. And I think we can just scoot right on in here. There's another little feller. I'm not gonna go through and pick out every rock. That would just be crazy, but luckily I too am a fan of rocks. So basically if I see something like, oh, I would use that, I'll pull it out. And then the rest of it is just pretty much riprap. We'll just use that to kind of shape this berm. Beautiful morning. It is the following morning. Sun glistening on the mighty Ohio River. Looks great. You saw what we ended up with there yesterday. We'll maybe do a little bit more cleaning up if we've got time. Let's go ahead and go down there and see if we can't expose the telephone line that's buried right there and the end of those culverts, because that's going to kind of determine how deep we need to be to get up that driveway. This is the service line for that cabin. The main fiber is overhead right there, and it drops down a pole over there and then feeds back. Nothing coming off that water meter, but it is still tied into the water main right there. We shouldn't have to mess with that water main at all. That should be deep and out of the way. But there's always the opportunity for surprises. Oh yes, especially on a Friday. No, it's Wednesday. Mike stopped by this morning, topped it off with fuel, and he left me a little joint lubricant for the pipe. That's gonna help. Dirt boss. Okay. Part of me wants to start with the shovel and just, but the other part of me doesn't, you know? Let's see what that is. The bad part about digging through rock is you can never tell if you're bouncing off rock or bouncing off a metal culvert. That would appear to be bouncing off a rock. Okay. Where's the culvert that comes out here is the next really good question. Might need to go that way a little more. I mean, it's really hard to tell. This thing just isn't. Daylight in there, fellas? No. Air coming out though. How is there air coming out if I can't see the hole on this side? It's not gonna be that deep though, I don't think. Let's go this way a little more. Huh. I wonder if that is, oh gosh. I wonder if that's the top of a head wall I'm hitting there. That would be a good thing to find. Oh, it does. I think that might be a head wall. Let's push down here. Down and out. Down and out. Get off of there. Sticky stuff. The question is, man-made or just another annoying rock? Oh, that's man-made. Look at that. That is, in fact, the end of a head wall. So I'm gonna pull a few more scoops back that way to clean it up. You can see what we're running into there. This is steel and then concrete behind it. We'll pull a little bit more back that way. And we'll come back on this side and just follow it down with the teeth and come out. This is the outside of some kind of junction box, homemade. This is all just old like river sheet piling. And it looks like that little ditch flowed into this huge, massive 3-inch hole. What a strange and interesting setup they've got going here. The water line's got to be underneath all that. I'll be dipped. Isn't that wild? Isn't that something, fellas? If you look right, can y'all see anything down there? So that's the end of the culvert that goes that way. And then, oh, you can see down there really well. That's the beginning of that culvert that goes that way. But they've only got these holes for drainage, just to catch that little ditch. We're gonna fill this back in, shape it up. Now we know the elevation we need, we can start running that up the hill. So let's see if we can find that phone line. The other mark is somewhere in there. I also need to get myself headed the right direction. We've got all that pipe, but I'll tell you, you can make some curves with that pipe, but it's just a whole lot easier on the process if you can do it more of a straight line. There'll be a little curve to the trench, but the straighter we can get it, the better off we're going to be. I just scrape the grass off. And the rocks. Oy. Come up just a little bit here. I like how I said scrape the grass off, like the grass was going to be the hard digging part here. These guys were spot on. You see it down there? That's the tracer wire right there. So the phone line's gonna be just a little ways below that. Looks good. I'm thinking we either have to go on top of it or below it. If we went below it at this point, we would be way too deep for where we need to come out at. So it looks like the best option at this point is to just skirt right across the top of it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So now we know where we're going to go. Let me scoot past this just a little bit, and we'll throw you on time lapse, and we're gonna get to digging. Again, we're just gonna keep swinging everything uphill so we can shove it downhill whenever we're done. Oh dear. This is going to be some awkward digging at first, but once we get past this line, I can stretch out a little bit. I'm kind of crowded in close to me right now. We're gonna run some pretty good sized rocks on this too. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just shuttle the big ones up the hill, I guess. Yep, whoop, there we go. Literally looks like we just pulled a big old molar, doesn't it? Stretch! Oh, done messed up, Aaron. So I got that cleaned up a little bit better that we can kind of work on it. This trench has a little bit of a curve to it, and you can get a curve out of these double wall pipe fairly easy. We have made it all the way up here to the top. Last little bit of digging, just going to be making that connection over to that spot. I want to see if we can go ahead and grab 2 more and get a total of 4 of these put together. Here's what we got to do. This is why it gets a little tricky. Oh dear. Well, first we gotta stand up. Oh dear. Again. Jeez. Anyway, we gotta try to backfill this and make sure that pipe shoves all the way to that side so we get a little curve so that where the joint is faces the direction that other pipe comes in. You see how they're coming in like that? See, that's a problem. And we've got to mitigate that problem, and we're gonna do it with some creative backfill. We have 4 sticks in, starting here. Yeah, we're gonna do something with those rocks we dug out. We're gonna do something fancy there a little bit later, maybe in a following video. But all the bend we have, you can see it's got pretty good curve. All the bend is in the actual pipe section, not at the joint. And that's kind of what I was trying to explain. Now, I'm no pro on this, but we've always had better luck. If it's straight, there's the joint. If it's perfectly straight at the joint, and then the bend that it needs to make is in the actual pipe section itself, a fella should be less likely to have leaks. There you go, that's the joint. And I lost my audio, but the point is, a fella can get a curve out of that double wall ABS pipe as long as you take care to try to get the curve out of the pipe section itself and try to get the joint seated all the way and try to keep those joints as straight as possible so you don't end up with problems in the long run. Let's get this thing backfilled and see how we turn out for the day. So here's what we ended up with and where we're stopping at for today. We're backfilled all the way up to here, and we've got just a little bit left to go right on across and catch right there. We got 3 sticks left. I think it'll take every bit of it, but should be enough. So when it's all said and done, where that used to run under there in an old collapsed culvert and go down there and catch that culvert and run down, now it'll come here. And this half of the hill will go that way, and that half of the hill will go down that way. I know it doesn't look like it, but from the bottom to the top, don't. It's about 4 feet. So that's a pretty good catch basin to go down there and get down to that culvert and out of here. We'll come back, kind of bucket face that in a little bit, dress it up some. I did dig some big floating rocks out of the middle that the blade kept bouncing off of, and then bladed this a few times just to smooth it up. He's going to be in town in a couple weekends, so I want to make sure it's a little bit more user-friendly for him, but they are going to put some 73s. They're going to put some stone on this to build it up a little bit, but it's much more drivable than what it was now. Quite a few nice rocks come out. And Mike came by earlier and brought me some bottles of water and some Powerades and stuff because it's pretty hot today and a pretty high heat index. It was just right out of me today, but he got me taken care of. Anywho, we decided when he was here, we're gonna take all those rocks and build us a nice catch basin right here. I think it'll look really sharp, function, and form. You can't beat it. There's looking back up, but cleaned up pretty nice. We'll let some rain kind of fall on that and silt in so everything fills in down and around that pipe and it's got good support. It's not a huge problem. There's a lot of rock in that backfill, but it is a huge problem if you throw it on like that and then just track pack that windrow down, then you're gonna go punch a rock through. If you let it sit, let it silt in, let it fill in the way it needs to, then you can come back and dig the excess off. You won't have any problem, especially with that double wall culvert. And when I say you won't have any problem, I mean we won't have any problems. If you have problems with it, well, it's your problem. I want to look at something real quick. This fella owns all the way down the river. What a gorgeous lot. Would you look at this? Come on, man. Anywho, he's got, oh dear. So he's got some trees marked to be cut down. And Mike asked if I'd be up for the task. I said, let me get a little bit closer look and see what we got going on. Aha. So somebody already tried. And it wasn't him. I know for a fact it wasn't the guy that owns it now. This was for sale not too long ago. And oh, look at all the gooses. The geese to gander. Anywho, that was probably the people that were selling it that were trying to cut these down and clean it up. And I don't know what they've got going on. but I like a challenge. Big old cottonwood. I would assume the cottonwood's staying. They do really good on riverbanks. And it's always a good sign when there's a ratchet strap holding the tree together. This one I'm not. This is beyond my expertise. There's a lot going on there. A lot going on there. But the rest I'm pretty comfortable with. Let's see if we can get down, and then if he's got a buddy that's got a tree company, might have to take that one from the top down or something. Who knows? I don't know. That's all I've got for this one. We're gonna cross the highway and, you know, not die. That's big on the list. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. I do appreciate you watching. I appreciate all your support. Yeah, I kind of thought there was a thought to go with that too, but I guess not.